Hi everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. I am here today with an update on my A5 Slim notebook from Galen Leather. I'm really enjoying the size. I am using this as my everyday journaling. I have in the front this canvas zip storage pouch from my friend Sherry at Wholeheartedly for the Lord, and I also have this lovely cloth folder that I keep a little pieces in, bits and pieces for journaling. So I just finished up the Moleskine Cahier. I've talked about this. It really had a lot of bleed through. And so on the pages where it was excessive, all the pages, it was excessive. I have just done things like this. I've just made all these little mini collages or paper bits or wrappers from different things we were using. I love the Gold Spot pens catalog. I like to use them for journaling extras. So anyway, the dilemma now is what paper to use. So I have the Moleskine Volant. It was much better with bleed through. There's just a little bit here, but I can live with that. It's not a paper that is super exciting to me, but it seemed to work okay with some of the inks. It just wasn't as pretty looking, but there's so much less feathering and just that real weak line that's laid down with some inks on this. So I had started using this for some more journaling where I was just talking about different things I was learning or finding out about myself, even now, after so many decades of life. I'm still learning. Anyway, beside the point. I talked about this B7. I was calling it like this bulky because that's what it said on Etsy. But I'm wondering if this is the Torah Next, because somewhere else it said B7 Torah Next, which I believe I have tried before. It's really not a bad paper. It just maybe doesn't accentuate the ink's qualities as well. The color I don't feel, but I think it was really close to Cosmo Air in other aspects. I tried to cut it down from an A5, and I just cannot do that by myself. The moral of the story is spend a few dollars and have the office store do that for you. Then I thought, looking through jet pens, that maybe this idea book would work. This is the same paper that's used in the Jabun Techo planners, and I was excited that it came in the wide or A5 slim size. I wouldn't have to cut it down. I thought the paper would be really good. It's a 52 GSM. There's 40 sheets in this notebook, and it's the 3mm grid though, and I really don't like that small, but to me it's not a huge deterrent because I'll just make my writing bigger. I don't feel like I have to keep my writing within a square. I'll use 2 squares or whatever if I need to. That's not a super problem. It's a lightweight paper. This is called the Kokuyo. Let me show you the wrapping. This is the label, and it's that. So anyway, I was very hopeful, but sadly a little disappointed in the quality. It seemed to take the inks nicely. You don't get like feathering, you don't get just a washed out line, but there's quite a bit of bleed through, at least on some of them. On the Diatramentis Alexander Hamilton, one of my favorite inks currently, it really has a heavy bleed through. Now a drier ink, in comparison, this Robert Oster Melon Tea, it just kind of felt dry in the paper. I didn't like that feel so much, but it didn't bleed through at all. So I tend to like a wet, gushier ink, and those are the ones that seem to bleed through. And I just don't want to write in this all over again and have the same problem going. I decided I would do every other page, but still that bleed through to that excess bothers me. But let me show you how this fits in here, which is super nice. It's a slimmer book. I think I mentioned it has 40 sheets. And it is a good paper as far as it's acid-free, it's pH neutral. It did say it was bleed-through resistant, but I think that really depends on what you're using. And it's supposed to be archival quality. So lots of good things going for it, and probably a great book with a different set of pens. What did I want to mention? Oh, the three that I liked the feel the best, though, were 2 Oroshizuku inks, Yamabudo and Takesumi, and then the Alexander Hamilton by Diatramentis. So I put a little star by those to commemorate that. Not sure. I've really just got to stop spending money on paper because I'm not finding that I'm hugely satisfied with any of them. And I have just thought I can just take my, let me grab it here off to the side, the basic endless pen notebook, and if I have to, I can just cut it here and here where it's kind of glued in, and then just use the inside to put in a notebook like this. I'm wondering if that would work. That actually might actually fit, surprisingly, without cutting it down. Right now this is an ink swatch book. I mean, I think they're about $20, so it's a little pricey, but there's a lot of paper in it. I do like the writing experience on the Regalia so much. So that might be what I have to resort to when I can no longer find Cosmo Airlight. But I want to share with you this delightful paper called Aeroful. It's like full, like colorful. That means color. So it's like saying colorful. I saw this on a YouTube channel. I'm sorry I don't remember her name, but then I also saw it on Kristen on YouTube. Gosh, I'll link them below. I'm sorry I don't remember. I'll put it on the screen here. Those 2 channels. Don't remember Kristen's name. Life Inspires Design. That's what it is. Anyway, I love Kristen's reviews, and she had this paper when she was testing some inks, and I thought, and that's when I found the other girl's channel. So I'm very hopeful about this paper. The one had it in notebook form. I was only able to find this as loose leaf sheets or loose sheets in the A5 size. And it is a 5mm dot grid. I got this from, these are from Jet Pens. This was from Amazon, but they're at Van Ness, I believe. A couple other pen places, also Jet Pens, I think. But it writes so nicely. I was like, finally. Like you could hear the angels singing. Really nice. Feels awesome. I said, at last, this is awesome paper. Unusual, though, that they don't have the grid on the back. It's plain on the back, and it's dot grid on the front. As you can see, no bleed through. Even with my more, these last 3 or more of my juicy inks. It feels sort of like the Cosmo Air, feels kind of like the Regalia. Very smooth writing, but not slippery, if that makes sense. It probably does. Probably know what I mean because I've talked about that enough. So this is one to keep your eye out for. I'm super excited. I know it does come in notebook because the one had it in notebook, but I could not find it anywhere. Maybe going directly through a Japanese company might be able to do that. I'm hoping to see it around. I'm going to the pen show at the towards the end of this month, and I'm going to be scouting this out and hoping finding more because it really is nice. It will be really fun to write letters with this, but I would love to find it as a notebook that I can use for my everyday journaling. So that's that. I have decided, though, kind of a little bit ago after playing around with these, that Even though I butchered that, I am going to let this be my next insert, because overall the writing experience is favorable to me. Although the color is a little less enhanced, I still get something similar to this feel, or the feel of the Regalia, or the feel of the Cosmo Air Light. It's just a little more creamy and maybe not as much of a pop in the color. Since I also glue things in here, there'll be some added color and pizzazz to the pages. So I think for now, this will make me the most content with writing. And I love writing, and I want to like it. And so using a paper, like, sadly, this was just made it a bummer. It felt okay to write on this paper. It just didn't look okay. And I want to like both how it feels and looks. But I am kind of happy with the cover, how it all turned out. It was a good experience, just not how the ink looked, I guess you could say. So that's all for now. I hope that that gives you some ideas on some paper to try or not to try, depending on your perspective on that. Definitely excited about this one. So let's leave that here to end things. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Sorry about the glare. Take care. Bye.